Recording is on.
In quantum feasible, such a year be born, dentin is from a place every night. Opi manti, Suguro, won't you miss a draw concert to Yao Yao Guru, and Kumi take a bath or Chinko, Chinkwa, or the coffee of the video Jenny. Daddy coffee be tea. Then there's a cat of our quatico crocodile copigency, than a candidate Abana, asking Asuya, Sultano, Supras, and Suya was the Yeso, and some cobra, so fake, yes, so da, so the so proud, so Connecticut, so River One. Great Mohegan, to Colorado, to Amazon, to Happy, not the son of Fonsmafo, Yoko Fonsmafo, Joanna Fonsmafo, Greta Fonsmafo, Steve Fonsmafo, one Fonsmafo.
Yeah.
Call on our own Nana known in Samafo. Billy doesn't hear. We call on our large family, those ancient and recent who have done the work, who have paved the path that we must follow. We call on Dr. Marcus Messiah Garvey, Omawali Malcolm X, Gabriel Proust, Nat Turner, Yal Santo, Araminta, Harriet Tubman, Nana Carla Lukami, Nana Nanny, Celine, Zumbi, Nana Dendara, Nana Shaka Zulu, Nana Mary McCabe, Nana Mandela, Nana Steve Biko, Nana Kamasankara, Nana Patricia Lumumba, Nana Nahanda, Nana Inga, Nana Akhenaten, Nana Inhotep, Nana Fred Hampton, Nana Annie Lou Hamer. We call on all of you. We call on you because you have done the work. You have shown us the way. It is because of the work that we are here to be able to continue. And also we must call on those not yet born, those who are coming to take our place, to continue the work. And we promise them that we must reach this place better than what we have found it. And we ask that you understand and bring us the messages and the purpose for our being here, and that we follow that. And today, as we move forward with this lesson, as we learn, we ask that we will never forget you. We will always remember. We understand that in the hands of those who have done this work and those who will do this work, because there is no, this is the beginning and the end, and the end and the beginning. And we will move forward. Madasi, you.
That's a no. Nana Casa.
Yes.
Right. So we'd like to start off, first off, thanking everyone who is here today with us. This is a special event. Myself and my own Ɔbenfo Baba Kamau Kambon, the wisest man I've ever known, are about to give a blacktastic, blacknificent, blackerific, and spectacular presentation on, as was mentioned, African-centered consciousness, African-Peripheried behavior, and why we have made so little progress. So I think without further ado, we're already recording, so those who will come in will be able to catch anything that they may have missed. We're expecting, I think, around 13 or 14 folks for today. Yep. So, you know, like I said, those who are not here now, they may get it later or they may get it online. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and share my screen. 1 second. Do that. Can you all see my screen?
Yes. Anne.
Come on, switch to slideshow view. Can you still see it?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Okay. So as mentioned, this is about African-centered consciousness, African-Peripheried behavior, and why we have made so little progress. So most people have heard the concept African-centered before, but people may be less familiar with the concept of African-Peripheried. It's like, what is that? What is African-Peripheried? Basically, it is when those who say that they are woke or conscious or whatever, the behavior does not basically demonstrate that, and that's what we'll go into a bit today. So as you may have seen in the write-up in this presentation, we'll discuss what happened when our goal was to raise consciousness rather than raising behavior. And this is tied to, oftentimes you'll see it in the 1980s. There are lectures, there are bookstores, and everything is about let's raise consciousness, with the assumption as though, once people's consciousness is raised, they're going to behave in a different behavior, or once they're exposed to information, then they're automatically going to do something different. But that's not always the case. As you can see, a lot of quote unquote woke people online with lots of followers and subscribers, but whose behavior in their everyday lives and then even in their public lives is anything but what we would consider African-centered, even though they may have a lot of information. So again, to continue, this lopsided effect has led to those who may appear to have African-centered thought and even African-centered speech, but the behavior is anything but African-centered. What foods do we eat? In what types of houses do we live? What languages do we speak to our children? This talk will frame the rhetorical ethic in the context of aggressive ideological mimicry, whereby not everything is what it seems to be.
About the lady about show.
Yeah.
It just seems like the slide didn't transition.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me share my entire screen, because I think when I switched to slideshow view, it didn't capture that. So give me 1 second.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let me also share my audio. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure I'm sharing my audio too, because we'll need that very shortly. Okay, can everyone see abstract at the top?
Ani. Mihunu.
All right, very good. So let me come back a little bit. So what foods do we eat? In what types of houses do we live? What languages do we speak to our children? This talk will frame the rhetorical ethic in the context of aggressive ideological mimicry, whereby not everything is what it seems to be. Moreover, we will discuss African-centered schools that have become factories to churn out workers for building the white nation rather than Kemet, the African equals black nation. And then finally, we're going to discuss why we've made so little progress, and then what we can do in order to move forward towards making more substantive intergenerational progress, moving beyond fundamental alienation towards fundamental interrelation. So this is what we have for you today. I think before we start going into other slides, Baba Kamau, is there anything that you want to say to kind of frame this discussion before we continue on with the slides?
No, not at this time. Let's continue. Thank you,
Okay.
Madam.
Right, Madasi. So what I want to discuss here is actually a clip of Nana Amos Wilson articulating and exemplifying exactly what we're talking about. So let's listen to it.
So slavery is not supposed, the experience of slavery is not supposed
Can
to
you
be
all hear this?
operating
Yes.
in the mentality of black folk. And you hear a lot of our youngsters will say that as well. How do you talk about slavery? That was back there. Or whites talk about that. Well, that was back there. We don't have anything to do with that anymore. You see. And it's an amazing situation, because you have to remind them that you're still living off the interest of the wealth that your forefathers earned from slavery. You are still enjoying the accumulated wealth that began with the enslavement of our people. And if you're going to enjoy the wealth that was generated by evil, then you must take the curse that comes along with it. And therefore, even though you personally had nothing to do with it, but because you have received stolen goods.